Hey guys, in this video of We Fight How We Train, we're going to be taking a look at Naoya Inoue's shadow boxing and some of his pad work. And we're not going to look at his heavy bag work today, but we're going to have enough of a case to talk about. But I want you to take a look at this motion here. See this? The falling step motion, or the falling star from Jack Dempsey, right? Very, very common idea. And he continues to get into this rhythm here where he's going to be bringing his back leg forward and penduluming onto his opponent, allowing him to create space to walk forward with this step here that allows him to step with this jab, okay? And now he's going to continue doing this move here. I call it in Fouts boxing a pendulum jab. But he's going to continue doing this and getting into rhythm, okay? And this is the only way that Inoue knows how to approach the line between him and his opponent. As we can see there, shooting the jab and then shooting the 1-2. This is a very, very common rhythm and pattern. And notice, on the line, off the line, and then on the line, and then off the line also-ish, right? But lots of that kind of motion, okay? We're going to keep going, taking a look at some more clips here. Jab, stepping with the jab, stepping with the jab, stepping with the jab. And now the first problem in the first round starts to show its head, right? Here he is getting timed, stepping with that punch, right? Because that's the way that he always gets on and off the line with his opponent. It's always the same way, okay? Now again, trying to get into rhythm, right? Trying to bring his back leg forward, pendulum walk onto his opponent, and as he brings that leg forward, that's the timing he's going to step with his jab. But his opponent is starting to read it, right? Now just to interject a little bit, this is the exact timing that Kambosos was able to find on Teofimo Lopez. Now I want to say, Teofimo Lopez is faster. Teofimo Lopez is stronger. Teofimo Lopez is a better fighter than Naoya Inoue, and by a wide margin. His technique is a little bit, for his right hand, is maybe not quite as good as Naoya Inoue, but his left hook is much better. I think his jab is better than Inoue's as well. But his transition, a couple of his transitions for Teofimo Lopez, they're not perfect, whereas I do think Naoya Inoue is a little better. But I think that on average, Teofimo Lopez has a better feint game, a better active guard than Naoya Inoue. And we saw what happened to Teofimo Lopez, okay? So here he is getting into very similar motion, right? Trying to come forward, trying to get into that rhythm, and getting timed. Getting onto the line, penduluming onto his opponent, boom, and getting timed again, okay? This is a very, very, very important idea, guys. Very, very, very important. Now, as we see the fight goes on, he continues to get into that motion. And look what happens when he gets onto the line and he knows, oh, boom, and he's anticipating an attack from his opponent. So he takes that small step off the line, and he's in this same position, ready to throw punches, right? Well, what happens when he winds up in a position that he doesn't practice punching in, right? Oh, getting into combination, getting into rhythm, and then his opponent just steps off the line, and he doesn't have a way to control the space without punching. So now he's getting countered. And now he's on the back foot. He's in a position that he doesn't train, and we're going to take a look at that on the pads, and he's no longer punching his opponent. His technique has been compromised so much that he's not even in a position to attack his opponent, and his opponent, even though it's not great punches, is able to attack and unload on him. A few things here, okay? Number one, Naoya Inoue always practiced stepping with his jab, which means he always has to have lateral space going this way, okay? Because his weight is always driving forward, which means he doesn't have the opportunity to take the angle that Daipan is going to take on him here to create these types of shots. Now, take a look at Daipan's feet here, going in this angle, and Inoue's going this way. They're not at the correct angle, right? And this means that Naoya Inoue is right in the wheelhouse of Daipan. So he has to take this angle, and he has to take this foot here and drag it back this way so he can create a line that's similar to Daipan's, which he can be able to mimic his positions on the front foot or the back foot, depending on what position his opponent is in. And as he looks to get that angle, Daipan is free to let punches go and attack him. But again, I want to point out, it's very important that you understand that because Inoue continues throwing punches, if he was in Daipan's position here, he would be throwing punches and stepping this way and stepping and stepping and stepping instead of being able to get this outside angle, which we're going to take a look at. You know, very, very similar ideas from Inoue here as he shoots this jab. And look, he gets his head off the line because he's stepping forward or continuing to drive his weight this way. But look at how he allows his opponent to get out of this this attack, right? Out of this momentum, right? Stepping with the jab, penduluming with the jab there. We're going to take a look at some clips that look exactly like that. But quick, I just want to go through these film study here. Again, if he's not stepping with his punches here, he's waiting for his opponent, right? And again, he doesn't practice a lot of catch and counter. He doesn't practice a lot of counters. He has some decent ones. But the fact that he doesn't practice controlling his opponent here, right? And then taking this angle and preventing him from stepping off and finding body shots and overhands like Daipan did is very indicative of the way that he trains. Again, look at all the control that he has over him. His opponent is sitting on the line doing nothing. He could have changed positions, crossed the line, transitioned his weight. He could pendulum step. He could control him with the left hand here, and then control him with the right hand here, and then find a body shot, right? Maybe he could pendulum on him and take that angle, find a body shot here up the middle with the right hand. But because he stays here in front of him looking to step and wait for his 1-2s, or time his opponent coming in with a stepping punch as well, he finds himself a little bit behind, okay? And this is the round that he stops this guy in, and as we can see, take a look at that motion there. As soon as he gets into a position where he's ready to attack him, he gets into his rhythm, right? Gets into his falling star step, boom. And now, here we see the biggest problem. Even in the round that he's going to be knocking this guy out, technically, he's getting hit by shots that he should not be getting hit by. He's getting hit by counters at a very, very low level, okay? Now, this is where I thought that Teofimo Lopez was going to beat Kambosos, okay? Kambosos always has his left shoulder peeled or stuck on the front of the line. It's just glued there. And that means that, number one, let's take a little bit of... See how Inoue's left shoulder is closer to the line? When he comes forward, it's going to be easier for him to get that shoulder to the line than the other shoulder. So this is going to be his Wing Chun punch, right? His easy, free punch to let go. It's harder to see coming. It's the faster shot because he doesn't have to change positions. And it's predictable, okay? We can see that it's less easy and free because he always has to do it off the back of this motion here, right? And as we see when he does it again, he gets countered over the top. Now, this is where I thought Kambosos was going to fail, when eventually he would press Teofimo Lopez. I thought Teofimo Lopez was going to catch him over that shoulder. But it turned out that Teofimo Lopez, not as good of an offensive fighter as he is a counterpuncher or a defensive fighter, which people are probably going to underestimate him a bit and realize that he's got a little more smoke than they think he does. But he wound up being very predictable, and while Kambosos wasn't able to bring his right shoulder forward and counter with the right hand over the top of the jab, like Daipan is here, he was able to time and disrupt Teofimo Lopez's body mechanics and rhythm and punching rhythm with the jab on that same timing, okay? Now again, this is something that Inoue is going to struggle with as he fights better and better opposition, but also as the opposition gets better and better, because boxing is changing, guys. Now here's Inoue following him around, and again, look at the momentum. He's getting into his pendulum here. He's trying to get his momentum going, and now he's going to take that falling star step. There we go. Oh, he shoots the jab, pendulums on him. Good. Keeps his momentum going. Does he find a punch? Control. And he's already allowed his opponent to escape, right? Now, here's a little bit of the dividend of that motion, right? Of keeping his weight going and stepping, as he's able to find him with the hook, step with the right, and then step with the left here, as he kind of shifts southpaw or whatever. So there's some, but Daipan should be finding himself in positions to counter much sooner than he does here. As we can see, he's not really making an attempt to get his head off the line. There are a lot of holes in what Daipan is doing here. But I just wanted to show the idea here. Now, this is not actually the end of the fight. Okay, Daipan gets up off the 8 count or whatever, because it's not a hard shot. It's hard to catch some guy with a punch like this who's moving away and catch him really, really, really hard. He does get the knockdown as the guy's moving and, whatever. But the guy gets up, and Inoue waits for him on the line and allows him to throw punches at him. Again, he wanted to wait for him to get on the line with him so he could counterpunch, because he knows that his on-the-line, off-the-line timing was getting timed. He was still having some success with it sometimes, but it just wasn't going to be the way he was going to be catching a guy like this, or very, very likely maybe even anyone in the future. Now, we're going to take a look at We Fight How We Train, yada, yada, yada. We're going to be taking a look at a few of his training videos here. Here we go. Let me turn that shit off. So here he is stepping with his 1-2s, step, 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 step. Very basic boxing, but stepping with all of his motion. Now I want you to pay attention to the fact that his head doesn't move. Even during this drill here, neutral, 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 neutral. His head is technically moving because right now it's here. And now he's going to take a step forward and his head's going to be here, right? But he didn't change positions, right? It's not like he's using his weight transition to bring his head farther to his leg or farther back. His head is always in the same spot in correlation to his line, okay? Even when he's making these moves here, he's jumping around, not moving his head, okay? This is the reason why he doesn't have the ability to slip, catch, and block and roll punches when he's fighting, because when he's in the line, he's always practicing right in the center. And what's the fastest way to connect the line between you and your opponent? Or what's the fastest way? Or what's the punch? Right? If your opponent gets on the line with you, you don't have to block if you're faster than him. So Inoue practices every single time he gets on the line with his opponent, quick 1-2, quick 1-2, quick 1-2, quick 1-2, quick 1-2, right? And he practices it over and over and over again, but he doesn't practice any of the other ways to control the line. He doesn't practice any of the blocking, any of the catching. He doesn't practice any slipping. He doesn't practice any rolling. He doesn't practice using any of these ways or these tools to set up other attacks, okay? And even when he does practice head movement, his head's not moving. He's just jumping from one side of the line to the other. Nothing necessarily wrong with that, but that's not the drill he's doing. Head stay in the middle, right? Head stay in the middle, even when he throws his power punches. No head movement. Okay? And again, remember that drill I was showing you at the beginning? The second one here? Let's take a look at that guy. Jab, step, jab, step, jab. Step, jab, get countered. Same exact drill that he's doing here, right? Same drill. Now, watch him continue to move. This move is supposed to be a pendulum step. All his weight's on the front foot. He's already transferred his weight. He's thrown the punch. He's going to transfer his weight, jump up, but he doesn't he doesn't use a pendulum step. He continues to throw punches, okay? Boom, boom. He tries to throw a right hand to the body, but his weight's already on the front foot, right? Right hand to the body. And now this motion here, this is very, very similar to what was right before the knockout, right? How he's chasing him with that kind of over-exaggerated stepping motion, okay? Now, this is something that Manny Pacquiao does in his work as well, okay? Where he gets overly moving around, overly penduluming, overly stepping, but he's not finishing any of his positions. Everything that he's doing here is to attack. But sometimes when you pendulum step, you have to control the line with other things, okay? So, again, one of those little training flaws that we saw that was very evident in the Pacquiao fight versus Ugas, right? Where he wasn't able to get on the line because everything he was doing is punching. And the Cubans, awesome counterpunchers, right? And it's even easier to counterpunch someone who, by your own standard, right, if you're like 5'10", is a midget, right? Because Manny Pacquiao's pretty small compared to Ugas, right? Well, take a couple look at stepping with these shots again. Stepping with those jabs, just like we showed. Oh, now look at him use his momentum here, right? And continue to fall off the line after that punch. Not being able to sit down on that shot and plant himself, right? Anyway, let's take a look at another video, okay? Here he is getting on the line with this guy here over and over again. On the line with the jab, off the line, right? But where's the head movement? How does he get on the line any other way? Here he is trying to use that move, but here he is not in a boxing position, okay? Stepping more off the line than around the line to take an angle on his opponent. Now, this might be old footage, too. I notice he has the blonde hair here. Actually, it might be blonde in both of them, but maybe it's the more vibrant blonde. Let's take a look. Is it blonde here? I guess it kind of is. But, very, very similar training, right? Just on the line with the jab, stepping. Little bit of head movement there, but not setting any punches up off of it, right? No punches, right? You got to use your head movement for more than just defense. You got to use it to set up your punches too. Now, last pad work one real quick. This one's pretty good. Stepping with these shots. Even when he throws his 1-2-3, stepping off the line, right? Everything that he does here is stepping, right? Even stepping with those probes there, right? Even though it's at a faster pace. Stepping with the 1-2-3. And take a look at the angle he takes off of the line here. He's not taking it around his opponent. Okay? And again, this is why someone like Aran Daipan lasted 8 rounds with Naoya Inoue. This is the reason why this guy looked more than just a regular guy. He looked pretty tough. He looked pretty... But simply because there are a lot of holes in Naoya Inoue's game. He's very predictable. And the more predictable you are, the less effective you are. If your opponent knows you're going to be throwing that 1-2, it's very, very difficult to catch him with a sneaky 2. Right? And it's the punches that you don't see coming that hurt, right? Or the punches that you're able to feint and probe and really set up to get the most amount of value out of, right? Anyway, we're going to take a look at his shadow boxing now. And again, it's the same, right? Where's the head movement? Where are any of the other drills? On the line, off the line, on the line, off the line with the jab, and then into a 2. But again, look at how he approaches the line. It's always in the same exact position. No head movement, no active guard. His active guard consists of getting on the line with the jab and off the line. On the line with the jab, off the line. On the line with the jab, off the line. Right? Again, we fight how we train. And while a lot of people think that there are a lot of good things that Inoue does. He's talented. He has potential to be a really good fighter. Like the first time you see Mayweather fight, and, you know, the first 30 fights you see of his, right? You're like, man, this guy has potential. But you got to see that he still needs to keep growing. Okay? There are other things he needs to be doing. And we can see some of the flaws in what Inoue does by how cleanly he gets hit by people that everyone would say he dominated that fight. But people you dominate don't land huge power shots against you. Okay? That's just not how boxing works. Anyway, if you guys are interested in learning better systems for getting on the line and off the line, better systems for understanding what position you're in, better system for understanding how to set your punches up, better system for understanding where your hands and your feet go and your head go at all times, check out my Fouts Boxing Combat System in the description, complete with a 30-minute pad work seminar with my boxing student Theo, as he we demonstrate pull counters, we demonstrate pendulum steps, and all how to do it with the Fouts Boxing Combat System. Now, I talk a lot of shit about a lot of fighters and a lot of systems, okay? I want you guys to know that I'm aware that everything that I say sounds hostile or this or that. I want you to know that everything that I say is scrutinized to the deepest level. Every little thing that I say, everyone wants to pick apart and find something that I was wrong about. And I want you to know that, hands down, this is the best combat system that will ever be available for boxing. Ever. Learning this system will make you... Anyway, not only will it teach you how to work these drills and get on the line and off the line with the pads, teach you how to set up your punches, teach you the finer points for setting up the pull counters and pendulum steps, but it's also going to teach I have my pendulum boxing series to teach you the best ways to learn to step with your punches, right? To slide with your punches. Get on and off the line, and to set up big, powerful right hands, big, powerful left hooks, okay? The best ways to learn to increase your power, okay? A lot of coaches say that fighters are born with power. That's not the case. Those coaches just don't know shit about teaching it. And these drills, these pendulum boxing drills, will teach you all the mechanics for landing a powerful strike. They will teach you all the mechanics for landing a powerful strike in boxing. Okay? It's not just body mechanics you're going to be learning, but actual learning boxing and boxing rhythm and techniques. And then also the series that I use to teach how to teach that and translate it to the heavy bag. A really, really cool heavy bag series to teach you how to use those drills and apply them directly to your heavy bag. And then you can take those skills and apply them directly to the pads as well. Anyway, it also comes with an 8-part series of shadowboxing mastery that you won't find anywhere else. And to be honest, you'll probably do it and you probably won't get it at all. It's probably too advanced for you guys. But if you do the drills and you keep working at them and you get good at them, you'll start to understand where their value lies. but it's going to be a new and interesting way to learn pendulum boxing and how to move and how to use your body to generate power, to generate momentum in ways that you didn't understand you could. Okay, and I teach that course all through shadow boxing. It's a really, really, really cool series, and it's what I'm teaching my private Discord fighters as ways to, use Fouts boxing combat system. Now, my guarantee to you guys, is that I care more about this being right than anyone else you've ever asked, how do you do something in boxing? I care more about making sure that anyone who purchases my boxing programs actually learns how to fight. I care more than anyone else because I do talk a lot of shit. Because I do put a lot of people on blast. And a lot of people try to put me on blast too. And they're just not on my level. Anyway, I promise, number one, if you want to join my private boxing coaching, I will do my best to make sure that you get the knowledge that you want, that you become the fighter that you want to be, and more importantly, that you can whoop some motherfucker's ass. Okay? That's more important to me than anything. If you say I train with Fouts boxing and you get beat up, man, I'm going to want to go beat that guy up. So check it out. But these combat systems and this combat system that I created and put together is, I think it's hands down the best thing you can be learning in boxing. Okay? If you want to check out my private coaching Patreon and you want to learn these things, I will give you a half-off promo code to learn the Fouts boxing combat system when you sign up. And I will teach you how to do it personally. I'll teach you all the little tricks. I'll teach you all the shortcuts. I'll teach you the theory. Okay? And anyway, the Fouts boxing combat system also comes with some film studies with Floyd Mayweather versus Diego Corrales to teach and demonstrate my ideas and my points and where they can be improved in fights like that, as well as improved with fights with Caleb Plant, who both have pretty decent defensive tracks, I call them, as I talk about what I call my track theory and the way that I discuss getting on and off the line with your opponent, and how all of those positions should look at all times, okay? Now, these drills and these series that you be doing, especially the pendulum boxing, these drills are every beat and every moment have something for you to be doing and working on. There's no time in there where you have time to interpret. Okay? It's a very, very, very linear path to teach you the body mechanics and the athleticism, and all while also learning the Fouts boxing combat system. So not only are the drills that I'm teaching you going to make you a better fighter as they improve your IQ, they're going to make you a better fighter as they improve your athleticism and your body mechanics, as everything that I teach is perfectly in line with how your body works. And that's the whole theory behind the Fouts boxing system that I created. So anyway, if you guys are interested, check out the link in the description. All of my other boxing programs are also 30% off with promo code 30. So check those out. And yeah, thanks guys.